I'm a married man. I got married about a year and a half ago. And I remember it was about a few months before my wedding, and my fiance at the time, she woke up one morning and she said, "Oh, Matt, I had a dream about you. I had a dream that it was the day before our wedding, and you were murdered by a serial killer." Yeah, that's what she said. And I said, in the future, I would prefer if you would refer to those as nightmares. Just so we're clear where you stand on the whole issue. You'd be murdered by a serial killer the day before, or at the very least, how about bad dream? How about throwing the word bad in there? That hard. My wife says a lot of things that can be interpreted two different ways that are kind of ambiguous. I don't know what she means by them. Like, I was leaving the house to come do the show, and she's trying to tell me to be safe driving. And she said, "Be careful, watch out for all the other morons out there." So are you including me in the morons? I can't tell. I don't know. Not sure. Or one time I woke up, first thing, weren't even talking, we just started like making out, like fooling around a little bit in bed. And she goes, "Whoa, it's like a hot guy came into my bedroom." It's like that. It's like that. I'm glad it's as if you're turned on right now. It's very exciting for me. It's great. Back when my wife and I started dating, I would always play this game with her called Would You Date Me If? Where I would bring up these random hypothetical situations, and I would ask her, like, would you still date me if... would you date me if I said the only way I could fall asleep at night was by lying face down directly on top of you? Would you date me then? Or like, would you date me if I said my favorite song of all time was that song that goes, "I like to move it, move it." It's a good song, but favorite of all time is a little strong. I think we can all, would you date me if I insisted on feeling up your boobs cross-handed? Would you date me if my name was Rectum Stinkerstein? That's a bad name. I don't want to marry someone. One time I asked her, would you date me if every time I had an orgasm I just yelled out, "Newsflash!" And she didn't... We broke up briefly after that. That was 31 years old, and I feel like I'm about 51. Like I'm turning into an old man. And you're an old man, you start to hear yourself say things that only an old man would say, I had an apple the other day that was just fantastic. Like that's something only an old person would say that. A young person would never. A young person might, rave about an apple from the present. Once you start to wax nostalgic about fruit from the past, you should just check yourself into a home. That's what I think. It's not even worth. Getting old. I'm getting old. When I was younger, I used to get very upset when my favorite bands would sell out and let their music be used in commercials. And now I mostly find out about new bands from commercials. That's like, who are these kids that sing Viva Viagra? They're great. I gotta get that album. It's I think that's Coldplay. No? Okay. I was on the elliptical machine at the gym. I go to the gym about twice a year. So I was on the elliptical, and it asks you for your age. And like one day I had to, I was 29, and then the next day it's like, oh, I'm 30. Like that's crazy. I have to enter in that I'm 30. So now I just say that I'm 39. Because I figure if I'm going to have to suffer being in my 30s, I can at least lower the machine's expectations. What I can accomplish, It's like, hey, go easy on me. I'm pushing 40 here, all right? No hills. starting to make a lot of corny old man jokes too. Like that's really sad. You know, like I went clothes shopping and I come out of the dressing room with a new shirt on. The salesman goes, "What do you think?" And I'll point to my wife and go, "I don't know. I gotta ask the boss." Like, whose uncle am I all of a sudden? That's not good. I think the problem is, it's like I think I'm doing like an ironic impression of a creepy old guy, you know, but the people in the store don't know that. They just think you are a creepy old guy. Like, if you walk up to two little girls and go, "Are you for sale?" Like, they don't like that. They drag you out of the store. It's not good. Don't recommend it. It's not a good idea to do that. I started waking up early too. That's another old guy thing. Like I don't like staying out at night. I like waking up early in the morning. And I've noticed other people wake up early in the morning and they start to brag about it. And sometimes they didn't even wake up that early. Like a friend of mine, he goes, "Oh my God, I got up so early this morning. I got up at like 6:30 a.m. Yeah, I was so exhausted. All I could do was just lie in bed for an hour and watch TV until I fell back to sleep." And I was like, "Yeah, you did not get up early. You slept restlessly. That's what we call that." I don't know how far we're gonna let people take that one, you know? Like, "Oh, got up so early this morning. I got up at like 3:30 a.m. Yeah, I was so exhausted. All I could do was just pee and then take a 7-hour nap. That's how my day started." Imagine how out of it I am. Did recently move here from New York. I had to buy a car. I didn't own a car in New York. Went to a few different car dealerships to check them out. And they all say the same thing. They'll pick out something about the car, like the engine, and they'll go, "Only 2 cars have this engine." And it's always that car and a really expensive sports car. Those are the 2 cars that have that engine. Like the Porsche 911. They always pick there's only 2 cars that have this engine. It's this and the Porsche 911 for some reason. And it made me wonder, like, what happens if you go to the Porsche dealership, you know? Are they like, only 2 cars have this engine. It's this and the Hyundai Accent. I don't know why. I don't know why we gave them the technology. We should have kept that one for ourselves. All right, you guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.